Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is still some sort of a gaming podcast. It's been, 16, 17 episodes already? We still need to look for a name for this podcast. Anyways, this week we have some major news, lots of major news during this golden time of the Inquisition, the gaming industry Inquisition. Anyways, before we get started, let's all start off with what people's been doing this week. Oh, Zeldrick is not here this week.
I would go first. Let me see. What did I do this week? I played some Call of Duty like the last probably couple of days. It's fun. It's fun. I also
is it better than the other ones?
Better than Black Ops 4, definitely. Also, I played World War Z. It took me like 3 hours to get out of I want to say Morocco. I was at the second level, but I just was keep getting my ass whooped, man. And I couldn't get good enough teammates, but I finally found some teammates and got out there. Played Jack Party in a Chief stream earlier this week as well, and it was a cool little set of games. I forgot the last one we played. It was Don't Push the Button or something like that. I think that was the name. That if there was like humans and aliens, and there was an alien in there, and you had to ask a series of questions to see who was the alien, and it was really fun. I dabbled a little bit in the Outer Worlds yesterday as well. It's giving me more BioShock vibes than Fallout New Vegas vibes. But it's a good game. I wish it was third person, because you take all that time to create your character, you can't even look at them unless you stand still, and the shot becomes from first person to third person, and then you can be able to see your character. It's on Game Pass, and it was nice to have something a little bit different versus the run and gun aspect of it all. That was pretty much my week.
T?
Sharpie, what you did
I
this
guess
week?
I should go. I mean, he might be away for a second. Anyways, so
it just cut out on me. Go ahead.
Then go on ahead. I want you to go first.
Well, this week, I didn't really get to do that much gaming. I think that's been kind of the trend for the last couple of weeks. But the one time I did get to play, it was like Lady Infamous said, it was the Jackbox Party Pack 6, of which I didn't get to play all of the games. I only got to play 2. The first one being Trivia Murder Party. I guess it's called 2, or maybe the sequel or something. I don't know. But that one is... if you played Jackbox before, it's a pretty simple game. It's a trivia game, where when you get the questions incorrect, then you end up going to the killing floor, which is an opportunity for you to either pass a challenge or basically get killed for the rest of the game. And it basically was my favorite, I think, Jackbox game that I had played basically up until 6. So I was kind of happy to see it come back for 6. I was kind of disappointed it wasn't in 5, but after playing it in 6, I think I kind of recognized that I'm kind of glad it skipped an iteration, because I was really happy to play it again and excited when I started playing and stuff like that. And I think I might have actually, considering how I react to like typically annualized games, like, a lot of the first person shooters and Assassin's Creeds and all those games where like it seems like there's an iteration pretty much every year. I think the fact that I had a little bit of a break actually caused me to be more excited about playing it. So it's essentially the same game as last time. Like I said, trivia and killing floors and stuff like that, but obviously new questions, and they updated the challenges that they have when you're on the killing floor. Some of them are the same as before, but with slight tweaks. I actually mentioned in my stream that the math challenge that they have got insanely hard comparatively. Last time I would just kind of like blow through it, but then It might be specifically when you're playing by yourself. I started the stream off by playing by myself for a little bit, but they had like, the challenge was that you had to solve like 5 questions where it was, you know, just picking random numbers. It was like 437 times 76 or something like that. And you had limited time to figure out like 5 of those type of questions, which, it's doable, but it's still like now you start to feel the pressure of the clock. So yeah, it was, some of the challenges were kind of the same, but with tweaks, but it was still super fun. Had a bunch of people show up. I don't think we ever got a full room for Trivia Murder Party.
No, but that second game, it was full. That last game was full.
Yeah, so, but again, that was like, I was happy to see that one come back. And then the other one, like Lady Infamous said, was Push the Button, which what it essentially is it kind of gives you a little bit of Town of Salem kind of vibes where, and I'm sure many other games, I think you guys have mentioned a couple to me before, but the idea is that you're in a spaceship and you're a bunch of humans in the spaceship where I think the max you can have is 3 and the minimum is probably 2. Aliens. There's aliens on board that are kind of disguised as humans, and the object is for the humans to figure out who the aliens are so that at the end you can basically eject them from the ship. And obviously the aliens' objective is to survive. But basically how it works is each round they choose a captain. Let's say I was chosen captain, for example, for the first round, and you get a selection of different rooms that you can send the people in where they have to do different tasks. One of them might be just like answer a question where you say, what's your favorite food? Or one of them might be like something where you have to draw a picture where it says, draw, a meteor shower or whatever. And sounds simple enough, but for the aliens, they have some obstacles they have to overcome. For example, like when they get the prompt, so it's not the same prompt that the humans get. So if I said, like I said, draw a meteor shower, the alien might get a prompt like draw a sunny day. So theoretically, once the group gets to look over look over the responses to all the prompts, they could be like, oh yeah, that's nothing like what the prompt requested, so therefore they're probably an alien. But the aliens also have like things that they can do to combat, I guess the AI, which is who's supposed to be helping you try to figure out who the aliens are. They have their own abilities that they can use, like they can switch a prompt for a single player, or there's a couple other, I don't remember exactly what they were. We only played for 2 hours, but yeah, that one was a blast, and we got like what's that?
You can hack a person's answers as well, because I sure did hack me some people's answers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you can hack people's answers. I don't even think I used any of the abilities when I was an alien, so I don't know. But yeah, it was a great game, and when we got a full room, it was crazy with people trying to sort of, they blamed other people or be super suspicious of other people, and you get blamed even though you might not be the alien, and it's just it's this fun little back and forth of trying to figure out who the aliens are. So that was the 2 games I played. I know I'm guessing there's at least 3 other games in there that I haven't gotten a chance to play yet, particularly because I was trying to find ones that would make sense on stream. But like I said, super fun. And yeah, that was all I really got to do in terms of gaming, actually traditional gaming. But other than that, it was like a couple little mobile games I played, like a little turn-based RPG style, like Dragon Ball game that I played, and another puzzle game. So
did you play that King of Fighters?
Other than that, I didn't. I didn't actually read the article that I saw, but I saw a headline where it seems like the game might actually be kind of good.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
It's on my radar. Yeah. What about you?
Last week, I was playing Indivisible and a little bit of Final Fantasy 14, and I actually beat Indivisible. And I have to say, it's got to be one of the greatest games I played in the past decade. Remember how last week, we were talking about how a game that should like really pull you into a game where you completely forget about real life? This game got really close on doing that. Like, it got really close on doing that. It didn't pull me in all the way, right? Where I totally forgot that I was even here. in real life, but it got pretty close on. I'll say it got the closest as it's ever gotten on most games that I've ever played in the past decade.
What do you think it was?
I have no idea. I mean, the voice acting was, it was good, but it wasn't like spectacular. But they were like very likable. I guess it's also helps that fact that every NPC that you run into, all look different. Like they don't have like the same looking NPCs all over the place. Like every single NPC you can interact with looks different.
How long
Another
it took you to
thing,
beat the game?
huh?
How long it took you to beat the game?
About 25 hours. I didn't do all the side quests. Well, I didn't do all the collectibles because getting all the collectibles just means you get stronger or you get more defense and stuff like that. So I didn't bother with that. But then, character development, like the character development for maybe like a few characters were very well done. The problem is that there was just too many characters that there's a more than half the characters had almost no development, just an introduction, and that's about it. So
I feel
that
like
was like
that might
the
have
biggest
happened in the
disappointment.
demo as well. Like it was just like all of a sudden someone showed up, right?
Well, it's not just someone showed up, you did something for somebody and then like they joined your party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like there's some like, characters that you don't get to. And you can see that at the end.
What do you mean? Do you mean like characters that you potentially could but you didn't? Or you mean you can't get those characters?
Well, you didn't because like, like at the end, like every story-based games has an ending, right? And there's like parts where it seems like there should be a character there. That's what it felt like. Like on the like when everybody's like looking at something, and then they're like most story-based games usually there's like a whole squad of characters on one picture.
I mean, I don't know about most, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's kind of like that screen where, the screen where you show like the whole crew
looking at something or something, or towards the camera or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of them just, I was just like, I feel like there should be a character right there. Like that's why I'm like, okay, I probably didn't get all the characters.
But it wasn't like a black shadowed outline.
No.
Like they do sometimes.
It was just like a gap between characters, and I'm like, yeah, there's definitely should be a character right there.
Okay.
Well, anyways, they did. It was a very well balanced of story and gameplay, right? It's not just all gameplay, and it's not all story. And then what's really great was the fact that when there is a voice acting segment, I don't have to keep pushing the confirm button to get to the next dialogue.
Yeah, I think typically when they do that in games, that's like a huge misstep. Like having to press the button every time is silly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that if I have to read it, but if there's voice acting, like I don't want to keep pushing the button to, or at least give me an option to, right? Which comes to my next game that I started playing, which is Valkyria Chronicles 4. So I started playing that the next day, and I gotta say, the character development in this game versus the first game, Valkyria Chronicles, way better. The first game just made me go, oh, this is such a bad development, or like I don't care about these characters, or there was just so much problems when it came to character development, where I was just like, thank God, this is so cheesy, or God, this character kind of sucks, or like this character is too depressed and I don't like this character. This game is just everybody just seems like an adult, and they all have problems, but then they all just either make fun of him. It just feels like almost real life.
Yeah.
So I think they did that better. Although the story is kind of still the story.
Well, what makes you
overall.
compare it to 1 though?
Because apparently these two are on the same timeline. Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 4. I never played 2 or 3, so I wouldn't know anything about that. But 1
Oh,
and
okay.
4 is on the same timeline in the same world. It's just different squads.
Okay.
So that's and at different locations on wherever the war is happening. And yeah, the I gotta say, like, the gameplay hasn't really changed much at all, though they did add a few classes,
Yeah.
but it's way better than the first game when it came to, like, I guess, story and character development, because it just made much more sense. I mean, it's not spectacular, but it's something that I can bear to listen to.
That's the bar.
Yeah. And during the time I was streaming that, I had a viewer came in that said that for some reason that says, oh yeah, like her I'm guessing it's a she because she kept saying, like, like, oh yeah, I'm a girl and all that. So she said like her name is Valkyrie too. But then I thought she made that name because she liked this game, but apparently that's not the case. It just happens to be her name is Valkyrie from Germany. And she recommended me this YouTube series that pretty much the first season just ended like a few weeks ago, called Meta Runner. So I
Okay.
watched the first episode on stream, and it wasn't like amazing, but it kept me engaged throughout the entire thing. Each episode is like 10 to 15 minutes long. Oh, and well, it was like the whole thing was funded by AMD, Epic, and Crunchyroll.
All of them together?
Yeah. So
Really?
yeah, AMD, Epic Games, and Crunchyroll all funded this. So you can see like ads everywhere in that universe, like
Of course.
a bunch of ads for it, like either ads or posters of it. So that was pretty funny. But it's about a girl who has amnesia in a neo-Australian city. I'm guessing it's definitely a neo city, and who just happens to be very good at speed running with tool-assisted products that are legal and sold by major companies.
That sounds very specific.
Yeah, it is very specific. Yeah, and then they have like stores. And the whole world just happens to revolve around, like competitive gaming. And what do you call it? And it does a pretty good job on how the professional side of how competitive gaming works in that show, like, and how the streaming and YouTube culture works in that show too. Except they added in like the evil corporation aspect into that show.
Well, yeah, they kind of have to.
Yeah.
Got to give them a bad guy.
Yeah. And basically, like, she has like some ability to literally go into that game and pull things out of that game. Yeah, and then it's funny because there's like this one there's this one line that says something like, "Want to take a little break and have a Crunchyroll or something?" So
Oh, wow. It's kind of on the nose.
Yeah,
That's kind of funny, though. That's still funny.
Yeah. And then what really pissed me off this week was on either Monday or Tuesday, like, I got an email from Square saying like I got banned for botting. And I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't played this game since like either Friday or Saturday. And then it says like, yeah, there's a botting activity on like the day of the email that I got. And I'm like, wait, what? How the hell did that happen? I wasn't even playing the game.
Wait, so does that make sense if your account got hacked or something?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it also makes, and then like it says, I'm permabanned, and I'm like saying, wait, what? So I'm trying to work with Square on that. I emailed their customer support, and they said, oh, you gotta go here and then like submit this, and then I was like, okay, fine, I have to go there, and then so I submitted something there, and then they emailed me back saying, oh no, you have to go here to try to get if you think there was like a compromise on your account. And I'm like, fuck, really? So I have to go. So I went there, and then they told me to. And there's so many fields I had to put in, and I had to upload my driver's license or passport. But I uploaded my driver's license to them. So yeah,
So they started with the permaban.
Well, apparently I got banned before, but I don't remember any of that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I have, but I don't know why. Maybe they thought like I was botting because I was doing this one dungeon, one too many times or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, this I was just like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. I wasn't playing it. I was not playing the game for like 4 or 5 days. How can I be banned?
Yeah, this sounds like you might have got hacked though.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
God, now I kind of know how I mean, it's not at that level, but it's definitely losing a child. Like your child got taken away.
You really is that deep, bro?
Yeah, I love my character. I love my character. I have a whole Instagram for her and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, they're probably not looking at that stuff.
They're not looking at that. They just probably want to make sure that you are you, and whatever's possibly lost, you're going to have to chalk an L up for that.
On that message, I posted my Instagram link for her, or her Instagram link. Oh, I'm so mad.
I understand your frustration. I think that, your identity should be more important than the actual character that you made up. Am I right? Because you're getting hacked.
Well, no, that's the thing. I don't treat her like me. I treat her like my own child.
You sound crazy.
A little bit. No, but I think what she's saying is the fact that if your account got hacked, then theoretically there might be personal info that got hacked as well. So that's probably the bigger thing to worry about than your character.
Yeah.
My email address is hella old, and what do you call it? If you go to haveyoubeenpwned.com, my email shows up on 50 different databases that got hacked.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get unbanned from that. God, I just want to get back. Not only that, the new patch is coming out too, with huge content coming up.
Yeah.
What's the new content supposed to be?
It's Nier Automata, and more huge updates and more mounts and quests and all that.
Yeah.
But it's really focused on Nier Automata.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When I got the email, I was saying, "Oh no, I won't be able to see my little girl again."
You sound like a real banana cream pie right now, Sharpie. I swear, and that means you're crazy. I'm crazy, but I wouldn't say those things. You are really saying those things. It's okay. I don't judge. I'm just saying. I mean, most important.
Yeah, you're crazy for liking Call of Duty every year. That's the same game.
Hey, we all got our quirks. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not judging. I just hope that you get unbanned so you be able to play the games that you enjoy, more so of losing digital content. You can always get it back. You might not.
No, I can't. If it's permanent, man, I hope I can get it back. God damn, this is gut wrenching for me. I spent a lot of time with this character.
I'm trying to understand if I maxed out my character, I can feel that. I can feel the frustration. I feel you. I hope you get unbanned.
Well, anyways, aside from that, let's get on with the news. So Mixer happened to have taken Shroud and King Goliath, or Goliath.
Gathialon, it looks like it is.
I don't know who that is, but apparently he's really
I
good.
don't know who it is either.
I know who Shroud. I know who Shroud is. I've been following him and I've been watching him time to time.
Yeah, so I brought it up mainly just to say do you guys feel as though it seems like it's pretty obvious what they're doing? It's like,
They're
oh, you have
poaching.
these pretty well-known, pretty established streamers, like basically people who are at the top of the class, and I assume they're offering them some kind of some money in order to move over to Mixer, because honestly, I don't really know what the draw would be when you've established that kind of presence and community and stuff like that in Twitch, why you would shift over, other than the fact that you got offered a bunch of money. But I'm just curious, do you guys think that that strategy of just taking big streamers with big numbers and offering them some sort of deal to move over to Mixer is going to be enough to kind of like start, building more significance in the Mixer platform?
It's like this. It's not more so. It's not more so the big names that's making the draw with Mixer. Because I have a couple of people that stream on Mixer exclusively. They don't go on Twitch for nothing. It's the Embers for All program. Everybody getting paid. I mean, we can go to Mixer and as a minimum payout of $25, and you get paid, and you got to do your little taxes and everything like that. This is just drawing more people to the platform, which is a good thing. I want to see more diversion. Diversity. Sorry, wrong word.
Diversity of for what?
Because there's more.
Are you saying competition?
No, I mean, like, if you're gonna get people to move, people from Mixer, from Twitch to Mixer, it should be the same demographic. It should be different demographics trying to move from Twitch to Mixer, and that's Mixer's problem. That's not Twitch's problem at all. And I discussed this with a couple of people that are Mixer partners, and they feel like they're not getting the acknowledgement or recognition that they deserve. And all they
what does that mean, though?
What you mean?
That they're not getting the recognition they deserve?
Some Mixer partners feel that they grind their ass off on Mixer, and all what Microsoft did was just toss them a few dollars around their way, get these big stars, and they feel neglected at some.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of why I initially had the question, because to me, I don't know, like, again, I half get the philosophy of like, if you have everybody in the world that wants to watch Ninja and you bring Ninja over to your platform, well, then theoretically those people either have to decide to watch someone else, which the majority of them probably won't do, or to go over to Mixer. So I get the idea that there's like these big numbers coming, but yeah, so the reason why I asked if it was kind of viable is because I don't know if it necessarily does anything to build the infrastructure as much as it just gives you not even an option, it's just like a number that you can say as a selling point. So if you have like, let's say, I don't know what his actual numbers are, but let's say 1 million people were watching Ninja, and he moves over to Mixer, and now 1 million people are watching Ninja on Mixer. It's kind of like, oh yeah, there's your selling point that you can put on your website. It's like, oh yeah, we have like our top streamer has like 1 million people watching him, but it doesn't feel like a move for me to build up the platform itself because of kind of what you were saying, where it's like, oh, let's just grab this one guy, but not even pay attention to the fact that you have a bunch of other people who you probably should be bolstering their numbers if you can, rather than just bringing this one guy who has a ton of people. Because, yeah, it's like if I'm going to go to Mixer, me personally not being one of the people who was watching Ninja on Twitch, just having this guy who plays Fortnite is not going to bring me over there.
It's on the thing. And I get it all the time. I'm like, why you don't move to Mixer? Move to Mixer. I'm like, I established my fan base at Twitch, and it's always good to have an option. Twitch as of late ain't been. Let's see, Twitch hasn't been in a good light the last few months with the how they set up TwitchCon, how they pre-reviewing partners to see if they can keep their partnership or not. Also, the one-sided bans on Twitch. That's gonna make.
What do you mean by one-sided bans?
Let me see. I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, there was a girl that did not get banned. Oh, she got banned for like an hour or maybe a day, and she tossed her cat over her shoulder.
Oh.
I think she's talking about bias in terms of like bans.
Bias. Oh yeah, bias bans. That's what it is. Bias bans. Like, a lot of like you get a male person doing the same thing as a female person doing something, and one gets permabanned, the other gets banned for like a couple of days, and it depends on how that person looks as well. Because these girls,
gender biases,
yeah, gender. That's what I mean. You understand what I'm coming
from?
Just
biases in general, yeah.
It's
kind of like the what's the girl's name?
Amaranth or Alinity?
Yeah, there you go.
She was like,
where it's like theoretically that should be based on the stuff that she's done. From what I've heard, she should probably be banned just completely, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
So it's good. It's not like I will when I get paid, I'm going to support all my streamers on Mixer because it's Mixer for all. I'm not going to go spend no money on these big name people because they already got paid. So as a content creator and people that support content creators, that's what as an individual, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go support El Boogie. I'm going to support Sharice. I'm going to support Delilah. I'm going to support everybody that I know at Mixer when I can. Because they have an opportunity to grab their little coin bag versus me giving my little coins to Shroud, Ninja, and Goth the Lion. I want to say the same as this thing. Where already they secured the big bag. Does it make me want to move to Mixer? No. Because for people like me, I will have to literally start all the way over. And Ninja already got a fan base. Shroud already got a fan base. So they'll be all right as soon as they jump in here. They're already going to have their subs. They're going to have their embers. They're going to have all that. But for the average streamer, they have to start from the beginning. And for someone who has a fan base, not like Ninja status, but like 20,000 followers, and you're making like 150 subs every month, that's a real something you got to really consider to be moving to Mixer for. Because some people, Twitch is their bread and butter. That's how they get paid. They get up, they stream, they get their paper, they get their check every month. Not like me that I get it twice a year. They get theirs every month. So that's something that some streamers are considering. And there's some Twitch partners talking about moving anyway. So as long as I have my audience and they're comfortable where they at, that's all that matters to me.
So here's my take on Mixer, right? And bringing in the big names. What this does is it introduces new people to their platform and how that platform works. Not the streamers, but the viewers.
Oh, I know
right?
what you mean. Yeah.
See, and then the viewers will see like saying, "Oh, cool! This is actually pretty cool," and what you can do, like the whole whatever that Lightning EXP system works is. Mm-hmm. And, like Ember is pretty much bits, right? I'm guessing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, Mixer has their own EXP system instead of having to use third-party applications like Stream Elements or Nightbot or
they got their own. Right? They got their own.
So, yeah. And basically, it's pretty much not regulated, but it's more... it has a more solid foundation on like what you get from the beginning. And basically like they have a lot of things that they can improve on. And, I was on Mixer watching Shroud and, some other people. And I was like saying, you know what, this platform is actually pretty stable. And then like all the navigation and all that just happens to just work without, any delays. Like sometimes, when you go to a site and then you just click on something, like it feels kind of heavy. I don't know how else to explain that, but if you just click on something, it just feels heavy. This one is just everything just slides in like it just happens to work. I don't know if it's because there's less people watching Mixer, and then their infrastructure is just it can handle a lot less people because of how much bandwidth that they have. But based on what I've seen, I'm like saying, damn, Mixer's is pretty good for what it is. However, I will say like I think the reason why they're moving the big names is because they're trying to introduce the viewers to their platform. It's not to bring streamers over, but it's to bring viewers over, and then every social media platform, and when I mean social media, that includes YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer, and has some sort of algorithm. So when the stream ends, there's probably another streamer that you might want to watch on their platform. YouTube does an amazing job at doing that. Twitch, not so much. Mixer, I don't know, right? Mixer, if they can get that right, I think Twitch has a competition in their hands.
The only thing that I would say is maybe it's a little bit of bias because this is kind of how I tend to approach streaming. And maybe I just don't know how the rest of the community does it. But the one thing that kind of makes me a little bit on the fence about whether or not this strategy would actually work is like, when I think about the streamers out there, the first thing I think of is like, I don't know if it's the game that draws the people to the stream. So in that sense, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, so you bring Ninja over to Mixer, and all of his people follow him over to Mixer. And it's like, after he's done, he gets offline. Where do those people go?
That's what I mean. Like, the algorithm on this thing might be better than how Twitch does it, right?
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying, I think
actually watch somebody else on their own platform.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's why I said maybe it's bias on my part. If I go to watch your stream, for example, and I get off, I don't typically go to look for another new stream from a random person. Like, typically I'd go to look for other people that I've already followed that maybe they're online, or another channel that I enjoy, as compared to just trying to find someone brand new. I do incidentally find brand new people sometimes, but usually that's just like, I want to watch Twitch, or I guess you could say I want to watch Mixer, and I sign on and I look for someone. But like, I guess the question that I would have is, after Ninja's done streaming, or after Shroud's done streaming, or after King Gathialon or whatever is done streaming, not can Mixer send them somewhere reasonable, but do those people care to look for someone else on Mixer when it seems like the majority of the streamers that they probably would want to see are on the other platform?
Well, here's another question. The same. I can use the same question for Twitch too. Like, there's people like, how do people get discovered on Twitch? Probably from YouTube. At least in the early days, and still probably now.
Sure.
Or through Twitter. Like, it's not easy to be discovered on Twitch just by doing Twitch. People who get discovered easily is probably doing something like discoverable content, right? Twitch is not or live streaming is not really a discoverable content. You can only get discovered if you're online.
Well, I mean, I guess like along the lines of what you just said, though, so that's why I'm saying, is their strategy actually going to do much? Because it seems like they're just bringing the big guy over and then saying, watch him here. And it seems like most people don't get discovered by just like other people randomly following like their channel off of Twitch or Mixer or whatever the case may be. So unless, Ninja gets off and decides to host this other streamer, and then all of a sudden they have like a bunch of people checking their streams out, is it going to be enough to pull like a significant audience from this other platform where people kind of already I feel like most people probably, they don't have like, 40 streamers that they follow, but I bet you most people have like 5 or 6 people that they're like, yeah, I follow these guys and these are the majority of what I watch. So it's like if you watch Ninja and then you want to watch Lyric, it's like, well, Lyric's not on Mixer, so now I'm going to go back to Twitch and then just come back and watch, Mixer whenever Ninja's on.
Yeah, so I think that this is why Mixer is making big moves, because so you get like new people on your stream, right? Why do they come in? Or how did they find you? Probably through like the Discover tab or through the Games tab that they follow or something like that.
Most likely
right?
It's the game.
Right?
Most likely it's the game.
I mean, Mixer has that same thing. So if they get big people in, or when I say big, like people with a huge following already back into their platform, chances are that those people are gonna also try to just do that same thing that they do on Twitch, but on Mixer.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's a maybe.
But I just think of it as like at the same time that they do that, they have to be, unless Twitch. All right, let's say the 3 people in this channel, right? Let's say we were big streamers and somebody watches the 3 of us, and then Mixer says, we're gonna pull Jay Sharpie, right? So Jay Sharpie goes over to Mixer and they're watching you, and you're saying hopefully like they'll start doing, hopefully Mixer will be their primary platform, but then you kind of forget that like that means that you're leaving Unsheathed and Lady Infamous behind. If you were a fan of us, you can't watch us anymore unless we go over there. And the question is like, is it going to be effective? Because that means either they have to figure out a way not to just pull over the big guns unless they're giving just money out to everybody. They have to figure out a way to not just get you to come over, but they need to get me and Lady Infamous to come over too.
Yeah, I mean those are like the people who has like a multi-streamer community. I don't think
what's that?
Those are the people that has like a multi-streamer community.
Well, no, I was picking us 3 just to say, imagine we were 3 individual big streamers that someone liked, maybe there was some cross pollination in terms of our audiences, not literally us, but just like hypothetically us as like big streamers. Yeah, so it's just kind of like if I have 5 people I like and Ninja's one of them and he goes over, then I watch him there. But how do I get to watch the other 4 people I like if all of a sudden Mixer's my brand new main platform? That's kind of why I think it's just going to pull people over to watch Ninja while he's on, and then they're going to go back to watch the people they usually watch. It's kind of like, I think a good way to think of it is like Game of Thrones. Like most people, Game of Thrones didn't become people's new main platform. It became the platform that you went to every Sunday to watch Game of Thrones. I'm kind of curious if it's just going to work out like that, where you have all these big streamers where like there's a flood of people watching all of a sudden Fortnite at, whatever time Ninja starts. Then all of a sudden it's back down to kind of like normal numbers.
I think that they're pulling out the big guns for probably a possible convention probably in the next couple of years.
A possible what?
Convention like a Mixer. Yeah, they're
I
going
don't
to do
know
Mixer.
if Mixer is ready for a convention in the next
But
possible years, unless they make giant moves like bringing Summit over, bringing Dr. Disrespect over, bringing Hafu over, bringing what's his name? Soda Popping over.
I think
like, those are big names.
I think they'll have their first con within the first 5 years. Like,
if they bring those people over, my God, like this year, that's like that's about 2 months. Like then they might have a shot in the next few years.
It's one thing to bring people over to your platform, but it's another to have people spend money to go to a convention, a public place.
Yeah.
Well,
especially
there's also
considering
another thing too, right? Like, Mixer says, I'm saying this with finger quotes right now, is that they will follow their guidelines, because Twitch has been pretty terrible at doing that. Do you guys agree?
Say that again? Mixer says that they'll what? Follow their guidelines because Twitch has been pretty bad at it?
Yeah. Like, the whole, the sexual content thing, because there's a lot of sexual content on Twitch.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I
See,
think that's just harder
I
than
don't,
you think
I
it is
don't,
to
I don't,
do.
I just filter that shit out when I look for shit on Twitch. I know it's there. I don't need to see it. I know I can, if I want to see stuff like that, I know where to go. Twitch ain't one of them.
But then
I
this
want to
no,
see.
yeah, no, but it's also the whole what do you call it? You know, the whole the biases that they're talking about on Twitch too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but eventually it's gonna happen with Mixer. Eventually.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder to keep in check than you think it is. Like not you, but like then I'm sure a single statement can cover saying we're gonna follow our rules. Like you could say that now, but like we'll see.
When
I
time
guarantee you
comes,
it's gonna.
when money starts rolling in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ninja does something crazy, and then like
Stream with a
they
girl
quote
like he
unquote
just did.
He did what?
He streamed with another female.
I mean, that's not crazy.
No,
That's
that
not
is crazy
crazy.
because I remember about like a year or two ago, he was like, he'll never stream with a girl, or he
Yeah,
like,
because he didn't want the trouble potentially kind of thing.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but his wife is fine with it right now, though, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
that's not
I'm pretty
really.
sure his wife was fine with it back then. It's just that he didn't want to deal with the potential outcomes.
Yeah,
That.
but that's what I'm saying. That's not really.
you know, because a lot of social media these days, like people go back 10 years of Twitter just to find one bad thing that this person said.
Well, sure. But all I was trying to say is that's not really anything crazy. That's just out of character for Ninja. It's not like that violates any of Mixer's terms or anything like that. I'm talking more so like if, let's say, just incidentally somehow Ninja manages to do something that goes against their terms, it's kind of like, okay, well, what do you do now? Do you like somehow slap your biggest streamer on the wrist and like potentially do something that could cost you a bunch of money? It's like I feel like they haven't gotten to that point yet where they have to toe the line. Well, figure out whether or not to toe the line or like be a little lenient. So it's since they haven't gotten there yet, it's nice to be able to say, oh yeah, we're gonna follow our guidelines and like never break from what we said in our terms or whatever. It's gonna happen eventually where like they gotta make the call and they make the call to be lenient. And then everybody's gonna be like, oh, there's bias. It's just, I think it's just way too hard to be like super, super strict about your rules, especially since everything is kind of conditional. Like the situation could be like interpreted from one person one way and another from another way or whatever. So,
You know which platform that's a really good at keeping like sexual content or sexual biases away is YouTube.
Wait, excuse
I
me?
mean, is it?
No.
No,
it's not
but
even close, I don't think.
But then again,
No.
YouTube has a lot of problems too. Because I don't-
YouTube got the biggest. YouTube has the most problems. That's just a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, you can almost put anything on there.
You
I mean, they
can-
have their rules, but there's a lot of stuff that's sketchy as shit that you can put on there and like.
Like, you can't put it on
Yep.
Twitch. You can't put it on
Well,
Mixer.
Yeah.
maybe it's the algorithm. Their algorithm might be too good that I don't even see those things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, all you say is not interested in the video, and they'll try to filter that shit out. But there's, you want to dig deep into that rabbit hole, you can, but it's there.
For
I guarantee
everybody
you
that
there's-
wants to comment on this, message me at Lady Infamous on Twitter.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. That's not even my Twitter.
But yeah, anyways, I was just trying to see, like, yeah, did you guys think that this strategy was going to work?
Didn't work for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually
it might not
you.
be. This might be their starting point, right? And then the more they start doing this, it's just like like it's just going to start planting seeds in people's minds.
I mean, I guess the other thing to question, and this should be an easy question to answer. I just don't know that much because I haven't really used Mixer, probably since like 3 or 4 months after it started, like after it released. But what's kind of the approach to? I don't know. Is Mixer like? Do they treat it as like a Microsoft platform?
No,
Because like. I assume like because you can do like a capture card or whatever, you still can stream PlayStation games and you can still stream.
You still
like,
can. You can stream whatever you want on
Nintendo.
Mixer.
it's not. Yeah, but it's not focused on like, oh, it's a Microsoft thing. They focus it as a streamer platform.
Well, I mean, the other problem then is like, what applications or
All
what
I know, Twitch is out
devices-
there brainstorming on how they're going to keep their big money making streamers from moving to Twitch right now. I bet money, I swear.
I gotta tell,
Like-
I tell them they gotta kick off the the sexualized girls that they're trying to keep the partners.
That's the problem of the people that want that. The people keep going to watch these girls. They're gonna keep staying there until they do something stupid, ridiculous to get booted.
Okay. Well,
honestly, I don't even think they're gonna do anything to try to keep the big streamers. I think they're gonna try to do something to like still once again try to make Twitch the better platform. It's like, I mean, like how much, I know Microsoft has deep pockets, but like how many times can you just pay people theoretically to have them come over to your platform before starting to like...
Microsoft has a lot of money.
Yeah, so I said, I know they got deep pockets, so does Amazon, obviously, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I always feel like the content, the platform itself, platform's going to speak for itself. So if you keep somehow make your platform better to where Microsoft can't keep up, then I'm sure like you'll be able to lure some of the big streamers over. But then at some point they're just gonna like either not stick solely to stream, to Mixer. Like I think King Gathialon or whatever his name is, he's gonna be doing like, he's not just Mixer, but Mixer's gonna be his primary. Mm-hmm. You'll probably get more of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Mixers has to continue to make these big moves to big streamers.
Yeah.
In order to plant more seeds in people's minds, right? Okay. Well, anyways, I think we're done with that. Let's continue on. Fallout 76. Hey, Lady Infamous.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you ask for $100 a year subscription for Fallout 76?
Nope. I asked for something, and they're not giving it to me till 2020. So never mind.
And have have a single player experience on a multiplayer game that you have to pay online for.
You guys should know how I feel about that. I'm the one that I think I put one of these topics up here. I want to see what you guys input on this. You guys already know I don't even like it. You guys already know I ain't gonna play it. I ain't touched 76. I don't even have 3 hours in that game. So you already know how I feel about $100 a year Fallout First bullshit. And I'm already getting news that the subscription service is already having problems. So I don't care about this. I want to know what your input is on this. Like Sharpie and a sheet. I just want your input.
Okay, so I think freaking Bethesda is going down the same hole as what Blizzard is going. Although I think Blizzard is going down a deeper hole than Bethesda. And then I bet Bethesda is, I think God Howard was champagning this to his own people, saying, oh, I'm so glad that Blizzard's taking all the heat right now when that whole China Hong Kong thing happened. But now this came out afterwards, and now all the focus is back on Bethesda. And to me, I was like, well, Bethesda, they did say, remember when before the game was even releasing, like all these features are going to be coming out for free. Now it's coming out as a service, a subscription service. And now I can't trust them anymore. Not even with the new Elder Scrolls game that they say that there was going to be a 6th one.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about.
Chief, how you feel about this?
I think it's weird that number one, that number $100 for the year seems way too high. Like
for what you're getting.
For what you're getting, that makes absolutely no sense. Like it's kind of on par with what you get, for example, with a Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft service. But that's sort of a completely online, really deep experience. It's really weird that they want you to pay the $100 when you already have the experience. All they're giving you access to is that, the private server where
that doesn't even
you can bring your own friends in there. Which, I was gonna say I was the one that added the other article on there where I guess they said that in It's kind of funny. Like in some of you'd do a private server and then you'd go somewhere and you'd see like some creatures that were dead or something like that you didn't kill, which means that clearly somebody else managed to get in there somehow. So you get the private server, then you get what was it? There was like some stipend you get, like that scrap box that you could store all your stuff where people were putting their stuff in it and then losing it all vanished
and then disappears.
Yeah. And then you get like I guess a certain amount of money, whatever the currency is in the game every month.
What was it, like protons or atoms or something like that?
Sounds about right, yeah. But it's just weird like that for just those three, working or not, like just a private server, like a chest where you can store stuff and like some money every month or whatever it was, or maybe it's every day, I don't know. But that for $100 for the year is like nuts. Like I just think about
$15 a month.
It's just even more nuts, yeah. But like even at like $100 a year, I was just thinking about the fact that like you can spend.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's $13 a month.
Yeah, I was just saying I thought it was like $13 or $13.99.
That's $156 a year.
Yeah, so for like basically for $120 a month, a year, you could get like Game Pass, which is like literally play like a bunch of new games. You could play like a bunch of like whatever older games they released on the platform and stuff like that. Play them as much as you want to, whatever. Obviously, it's subjective, whichever one you think is worth more value. But I kind of find it hard to tell me that like those little three things are worth more than for something like Game Pass or something like even I think they made a reference to Netflix where it's like similar pricing to Netflix. And it's like, how do you charge that much for that little?
Well,
I guess the answer is that if people pay for it, then you could charge as much as you want.
Well, the thing is that what I don't understand, like I understand that if they have to charge this to play online, what I don't understand is why do they charge this to play offline?
Well, I mean, I guess technically it's like, are they hosting they're hosting the servers on their side, right?
I don't know. That I don't know, but like to play privately, you have to. That seems so reverse to me. Shouldn't you pay to play with other people, not to play by yourself?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like the one thing that you could kind of say that's counter to that is just that like when you get that private server, like you can have people on your friends list play as well. So it's not like you're just paying to play by yourself. You're just paying to only play with the people you want to play with, which is still, again, too much, way too much. If they would have said this was like $20 for the year or something, I think it would have been fine. But like $100 is insane.
Well, what's also worse is that like I was watching Angry Joe on this is the fact that to get the color blue armor, it costs about like $15 or $20. And all it does is just color your armor blue.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what I was just saying earlier when I was like, if people will pay for it, you can charge whatever you want to. Like, honestly, if I see that, you are not getting my money whatsoever. There's no way I'm going to have that blue armor. And I think if everybody took that same exact stance, they'd either decrease the price significantly or they wouldn't try to do that. But some people seem to be willing to pay for it.
Yeah, and then this is also coming out of the Fallout 76 people that are already fans of it, like fans of this particular game that are complaining.
Yeah. Sure, but again, you got to vote with your wallet.
Yeah,
I think that's what we all do.
Like refunds now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what we all, at least the three of us do. Definitely, is like if you're not giving us our money's worth, we're not buying the game. But like, if it doesn't seem like, at least maybe it's just in the beginning. Sorry, there's some people who want to be early adopters or they're like super jazzed about the game, so they're like, I just have to buy it. I know Sharpie, you said you don't pre-order anything.
Yeah, I don't.
But like the fact that they get all that money up front, it's kind of like, why would you try to like be reasonable if you could be unreasonable and people will still give you money? I don't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, we can segue this into the Outer Worlds. The Outer World. I mean, I didn't play it yet. I don't know if either of you have.
Well, yeah, Lady Infamous played it. She said that in the beginning, but not. I don't know how long.
Probably like 2 hours and a half.
2 hours and a half.
Yeah, that was the one she said was more kind of like Borderlands than she was expecting.
No, it was more like
Fallout.
no.
Somebody
more
said.
like
I mean, it's Fallout.
Bioshock.
Oh, sorry,
Bioshock.
Bioshock is what it was, not Borderlands.
So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. People are enjoying it. I know that I'm gonna have to wait until my schedule be more open with games because I really want to take my time with this. I've been meleeing. I've been two-handed it. You get points. You gotta micromanage your stuff. You can break it down. You can use. I've been using most of my perk points for lie, persuade, and manipulate. Is that the charm? Charm? No, it's the charm category. So it's intimidate, lie, and manipulate. And
I got a question.
Huh? Yeah.
Is there microtransactions?
Not hide and see none.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not.
Do you feel like there's a DLC coming along the way?
Yes.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's the least buggiest AAA title in a while?
I didn't see any bugs when I was playing.
Yeah, but that's only like 2 hours in though, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
this
I
is
can't-
what I've been hearing from the interwebs is that there's like almost very significantly little bugs, and if there are any, it's like one of those very minor ones, like grade 1 bugs.
I mean, this is also like, isn't this like the first iteration of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say that just to bring up the fact that I think part of the reason why like a lot of stuff ends up being crazy buggy is because like I imagine there's pressure to get the next game out. Which if this is the first iteration, there probably wasn't as much pressure. But like if you have like a Borderlands or Fallout or something like that, everybody's like, oh, where's the next one? Where's the next one? And I'm sure like publishers or whatever are pushing for them to get it out.
AAA publisher like Activision, EA.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying.
all
Yeah, it's
that.
probably the publisher pushing for them to get it out.
Well, not only
'Cause they
that,
wanna-
to make it have more problems, like having microtransaction, which they have to engineer their infrastructures to work with microtransaction, which can cause problems, which can cause potential problems within.
But I
the
mean,
game,
do you feel
right?
like that's where the problems normally come from? I feel like most of the time when I hear about bugs and all that nonsense, it's not really in the microtransactions part of it. It's like in the gameplay itself.
Mhm.
I mean, it could web from it too.
It could, yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
reading a tweet today. Apparently, this happened like not even a week ago, but there was a question on Twitter from I don't know if this was a gamer or not, but there was a question that says, "What's a non-sexual fantasy that you have?" And then
that was a good question. I
Yeah.
had one, but I was looking
And
for
then-
the tweet.
Yeah, and then
I
there was
had one.
and there was a answer here that says, for a video game to be released in full finished form with no microtransactions at all on all platforms, so that everyone can play them, love, and enjoy them as much as we do.
That's a good answer.
And
Well,
it has
yeah,
like
that-
one point. It has like one of the most likes on that question.
Yeah, but
It's by Niche
realistically,
Gamer.
it won't.
No, and that's what everybody says that this Outer Worlds game is. It's like it feels finished. It has very little problems with it. There's no microtransactions, and it's fun. And then it feels like variety every time when you go to different worlds.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that does happen. Maybe not like, I mean, what they described isn't even 100% the outer, isn't 100% like, was it the Outer Worlds? I always want to call it Outer Lands. But
The outside lands.
yeah, exactly. The outside
Here in
lands. There you
here
go.
in San Francisco.
But I mean, I feel like it happens in the sense that like there's definitely games. I say it's not like the Outer Lands because as
The
far as I
Outer
know,
Worlds.
that's Outer
Oh,
Worlds. Sorry,
yeah.
Outer Worlds. That's not like on Switch, for example, right? Or I think is it even on PC? I thought it was just like a console thing right now.
No, it's on. It should be on Xbox Ultimate as well.
Oh, okay. Well, not on Switch, for example. And I
No,
do
not
feel
on
like
Switch
there,
yet.
yeah, there are definitely games that do that where they come out on like a bunch of different platforms and they're probably not really crazy buggy. I guess I'm thinking like, for example, oh, why am I so horrible at this? The game that you played on Switch, Sharpie, the RPG.
Oh, what do you call it? Octopus Traveler.
Octopath. Yeah, Octopath
Octopath,
Traveler.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, as far as I could tell, that looks like a great game. As far as I know, it's like on Switch, PC. I don't think it ever came to like Xbox and PlayStation or whatever.
It's only
But
Switch and PC.
yeah, but like
Should have
no
waited for the PC version.
microtransactions. Yeah. But no like microtransactions. Seems like it's a fun game that everybody can enjoy and stuff like that. But it's not like it just doesn't fall into the category of probably like a super high profile release. I mean, if that's what they're talking about, then I get that. But I think it happens pretty frequently in games. You just can't, it's not going to happen with Call of Duty, and it's not going to happen with like Borderlands or something.
Most
Some games where they're like
published
AAA titles. Yeah, exactly.
But Borderlands just feels like a AAA title that actually has all of these things removed.
Yeah. But the question I want to ask Lady Infamous though, because I think it's pretty relevant, because I'm pretty sure we had this conversation on the podcast like a long time ago when we first started talking about Fallout 76. The question is this game single player?
Yes.
Okay. So my question to you is to see if it can confirm I think it was at least myself and Jay Sharpie that thought this last time. Based on how it's gone with this game being single player and how you hated Fallout 76, was it really just that you did not want like a MMO? I don't know if you remember us talking about that, but you were like, I want NPCs, and like I don't like the people that I was playing with. I think you might have you're playing a bunch of randos, and like you're like, I want more story and like stuff like that. And I think both of us said, I think you just don't want like an online Fallout game. You just want another Fallout story-based game, which it sounds like this might be closer to that.
I wanted to play Fallout with my friends, but
yeah, so that's what we said. We said we thought you might want a co-op version of Fallout and not like an MMO Fallout.
No. I wanted to play with my friends in the wasteland.
I mean, you can do that for $100 a year.
Man, nobody want to hear that shit. Anyway, the story in the outer world really making you make pimp decisions, like what they did with New Vegas, which I like. I'd rather take a single player, gorgeous story, gorgeous looking game versus the opportunity to play with my friends in a trash game. Because me and my girls, we were just talking about Fallout 76. Ain't nobody playing that. We don't want to go through the BS of it all. And the problem with Bethesda is that they ate more than they can chew. They felt like, oh, we gonna milk Fallout till we fall out. So they rushed us and gave us a hot mess. And not only did they give us a hot mess, you asking us for more money. I don't know. The people who actually spending money on
they've been giving
Fallout
out that game for free, so they have to make money, right?
Did I get that game for free? I sure did not. So
no, but they've been giving those games out after like the first week.
So it's just the point of Fallout 76 was to play with my friends, and I did. And if the game was better, I probably would have played it more. Do I want the Outer Worlds to be multiplayer? Man, I'm scared now, because it's like you like a game for a single player aspect and you want to enjoy it with friends, and it doesn't resonate very well in a multiplayer atmosphere. And that's what Fallout, what Fallout was. Fallout felt like, okay, we got a universe, we got Fallout lore, we just gonna add some shit in here and have people play, and they want to spend money on it, and in kind of a way it took advantage of us.
Okay, well here's a question about that. You played Borderlands, right? At least one or two.
I dibble dabbled.
Yeah. How did that feel to you? Did it feel like a multiplayer game, or did it feel like a single player experience with your friends?
It felt like a single player experience with my friends.
Do you think the Outer Worlds would have worked that way?
I don't know.
I honestly think it can't.
I don't know because
Like I think the reason why
Bethesda,
Borderlands works is just that like you have a single person talking to you. Like I don't remember, maybe I'm blanking out. I'm in Borderlands. You don't really get to pick what your answers are and like have them
no,
make
you
impact
just
to
do,
the story and stuff
no,
like that,
you
right?
just do missions like
Yeah, so
pick up,
that's why it's different.
and then you can just have people join and you do those missions together. But you like say we would play Borderlands, I will have the story missions, and if I ask you guys to play in and we do that particular mission and you guys haven't achieved it yet, you'll get the credit as well. But if not, you're just playing with me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think what I was trying to say is just like, and it's probably pretty much the same thing. You're like, why you're saying that you don't know if you'd want co-op for Outer Worlds. Like,
I don't
the
think
problem.
I don't think
The
I want
problem
to
is
co-op.
like,
I don't think I want to.
yeah. The problem is like you're supposed to. I think even like not Bioshock. Mass Effect is a great example where it's like theoretically they sell it as like the decisions you make are somehow supposed to impact the world and like how people interact with you and stuff like that. So it's like when you get multiple people in, how do you handle that? Like the part where like I could be making decisions, the other person could be making decisions, or if it's just like Lady Infamous is making the decisions and I'm just kind of like a secondary bystander, and at which point I'm just her companion in her story or something. I don't know if there's a way to legitimately make it like feel like Outer Worlds or feel like Fallout, like the way people traditionally know them, and still have it be co-op.
Yeah, I still think it's too early unless there's like a really, really good game designer that hasn't been flourished yet to come up with an idea.
Do you think it'll be Game of the Year potential?
The Outer Worlds? I don't know. I haven't played it. I only heard so much about like how good it is and how like not a lot of problems.
You
with
don't
that
have
game.
Xbox Game Pass?
I do, but you can't. It's not on PC.
It's not on PC yet.
No,
I thought it would be. Shit.
it won't. It says like, oh, which system do you want to download it to? And it says, oh, it can only do it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
But when you have a chance, you should play.
It'll come, but it'll just take forever, I'm sure.
I'm telling you. I don't know how long the game is. But it might be a long one. But it might be shorter.
I guarantee you that game is massive. There's no way it's not. You think it'd be a short game?
Probably so. Because
do you think it's just a very small main MSQ and then just a whole lot of side quests?
I think so. I think they made it smaller to appeal more to a master audience. Because Fallout New Vegas is big. I mean, big. You can.
Well, that's kind of what I assumed it was. Is it not? You don't think it's like that?
No, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think I'm gonna spend like 3 walkthroughs with like 70 hours apiece. This might be like 40. If you do the side quest, probably 40. Between 20. I'm guessing here. 20 main quests and stuff like that. Because there's a level 100 that's your max level is 100.
So I'm looking right now and it says on how long to beat. It says the main story leisurely. It's like 15 hours. And you're pretty much right on. 15 hours and 12 minutes. Plus extras, 25 hours and 30 minutes. Completion is 36 hours and 29 minutes.
Oh, so I was
so you're pretty much right there.
Yeah,
so it's like a standard like classic time scale.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, I'm gonna wait till I finish Hitman, and then I'm gonna wait till I finish Call of Duty campaign, and then it's gonna be Outside Worlds all throughout the rest. Maybe some Rainbow.
Yeah, They needed to give this thing a different name, dude.
What?
I just said I'm gonna finish Outside Worlds. They just needed to give it a better
I think it's
name.
because we all live in the Bay Area, and there's a freaking huge event called the Outside Lands.
Yeah. But it's the Outer Worlds. Fuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, like they're both, world like landscape defined, right? Like world and land, and we say outside and outer.
Okay, so. Well, just play the game if you have a chance.
I'm just gonna call it the OW if we ever reference it again.
Okay.
Overwatch, yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, anyways, let's move on. Ubisoft moves all their games to next gen. Who put this up?
I did.
You did?
I did. They're moving.
Okay.
They're delaying most of their titles.
But
Are
you
they?
saw
I
why,
did-
though, right?
I was not aware of this until now. So, what? Can you explain what's happening?
Okay, so they're delaying some games.
Are they moving
Watch
a bunch
Dog-
of developers to their?
No, they're
their-
moving. No, I don't know. They're just delaying the games. They're pushing the games.
Yeah, so it's God and Monsters, which is like, I think isn't God and Monsters? No, Skull and Bones was the multiplayer pirate game.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Rainbow
I think
Six
God and Monster
Quarantine.
was like that Zelda-ish looking game.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And then I think Skull and Bones is going. Rainbow Six Quarantine was going. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I think is supposed to get pushed back too, but they didn't announce anything. But
Man, they pushing it. They said they plan to push Beyond Good and Evil to 2021 fiscal year.
yeah,
At the
that's
latest.
right.
At the
Oh,
latest.
okay. So they're trying to make all their new games to the next generation
Yeah.
of consoles.
Well, no, so that's the thing. I don't know if I missed it, but I don't know if it's that they're moving them to the next generation as much as it's the timeline is within the next generation at this point. But from what I saw, the reason they're moving it is essentially because they're trying to basically sweep up the landfill that is the new Ghost Recon game, which apparently like is nowhere near like meeting up to what they were expecting. Like it seems like nobody's playing it, nobody's buying it or whatever. And
Yeah,
it seems like
because
they're
I
trying
heard
to
it
do some
sucks.
cleanup. Yeah, exactly.
It's just DLC nonstop.
You said it's just DLC. Is that I didn't hear that. What's that about?
Oh yeah,
Like there's
I
a
watched
bunch of
I
DLC.
watched I was watching Angry Joe play, and then he was just like, "Oh my god, another DLC! Oh my god, another DLC! Oh, a loot box!" It's like it was just nonstop of like just buying shit,
But like actually buying stuff or like
like just to
You mean-
unlock like a certain like gun or something like that. And then there apparently like there was a mission where they had to get from one point to another in a helicopter, and I don't know about the previous game, but you played it, but NPCs apparently had banters between while they were flying from one point to another, or at least the characters had like some sort of banter. In this game, it was complete silence for like 3 minutes.
that has to be a little off-putting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, well, when you say like when they're flying between, are you talking about like cutscene style stuff, or like just in transition to the mission or something?
Yeah, like you get into a helicopter, and then like all your squad mates are in there, and then usually these days, I mean, what do you call it? The new Uncharted game did a pretty damn good job at this, but then like they like all the characters would have some sort of conversation about whatever, right? It could be about the missions or about like their personal life or whatever. Right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm looking at
this
like
game had nothing.
That's a little weird. I'm looking at like another article, and I guess the better way to put it is it sounds like because Division 2 and Ghost Recon were both pretty big failures. Like they're basically pushing out their other games to say like make sure they're good, essentially. Because of like what I was saying, where it's like they're trying to release things too fast. So you think they might have pushed those out way too fast.
Microtransactions, and it'll be good. I guarantee it.
But they ain't. So why you keep crying about it? It's gonna happen.
Did you feel like that's all you heard, for example, about Breakpoint was like that was the problem with the game?
No,
that was a major
like,
part. Yeah, that was a major part.
Breakpoint felt like a Division 2 DLC.
That's kind of messed up. Okay, that's interesting. Why do you say that?
Because it's the same exact things that you do. You gotta go to this neutral area, then you gotta unlock the shit from the neutral area, and then you gotta talk to people. Oh, you gotta help me do this, and you gotta go to another place. Wipe out the enemies, go get the intel.
Yeah,
basically the same platform, the same rhythm, as you would say, as the Division 2, please, because I'm a level 25. I'm almost maxed out on the Division 2, so I played a lot to know that when I played the beta, the technical alpha, even though I played it on my PC and it didn't look as good, I knew it was something like a Division 2. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $60 on this.
Yeah. And that's like, I wasn't saying like it was messed up, like you had said something messed up, but it's just like conceptually that's messed
cold.
up.
That's cold.
Yeah.
That's cold blooded, but it's the truth. And, you know, the way of the business is sometimes that, you know, the younger demographics, don't get me wrong, I'm not judging here, but I'm going to keep it real. Younger demographics, they'll suck up anything. They'll buy up anything. Just because it has a name and a label on something, they'll quickly go buy it. But probably older, more mature, sensible people that spend their money on video games, they're going to dig deeper on if this is worth the money that I'm about to spend.
Because it's like the same game over and over again.
Yeah, because
just like Call of Duty.
Hey, yo, but at least I know. At least I know what I'm dealing with when I buy Call of Duty. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're dealing with when you play Ghost Recon Breakpoint, because the last one was Wildlands, and it was all right, but it wasn't fire. It didn't sizzle like Division 2 did great, but they just released that like a year ago or earlier this year.
I mean, according to what I'm seeing in articles, Division 2 didn't even do great.
Oh, didn't even do great?
I mean, like, it's subjective in terms of, like, whether or not it's a good game, but it sounds like it didn't do great commercially.
Yeah, like, I'm talking about, like, playing-wise. Like,
oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, they should have, like, at least delayed Ghost Recon. They could have pushed that shit, too, but obviously they didn't, and it really hurt. Man, look. 10 people play the game. I only heard like maybe 1 or 2 people like the game. The rest was like, nah, we not messing with this game.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that like, why? Honestly, like when I saw the footage initially, I thought it looked cool when they were showing off. I think it was at E3 they showed off the footage of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I thought it looked really cool. But once I started seeing footage after it came out, it kind of looked like a higher quality version of Wildlands, which you kind of expect that considering it's the one right after it. But at the same time, I think Sharpie had made a great argument about it before, where it's like, you really do the same thing over and over and over again in Wildlands. And it sounds like they didn't really change that much from Wildlands to Breakpoint, other than obviously the microtransactions part you added. But like, even ignoring that, it's kind of like, it sounds like they didn't change much of the game from the last one, which most people didn't like the last one. So I don't know why you would expect like really big commercial success. Like, am I wrong? Did like Wildlands do well? I feel like it didn't.
I didn't play it. I didn't even play it. I played the beta.
Yeah.
But I didn't play it.
Yeah, the beta was fun, but I think like, and I think this was Sharpie's exact words, or not exact, but like this is what his exact sentiment was like. If you played the beta, you played the game, because the beta, well, the game was basically like, take what you did in the beta and do it like 34 times.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it's weird that you would think that this new one was just going to be like a crazy commercial success when it doesn't. Again, I'm just going off of the gameplay footage that I've watched people do on Twitch and some YouTube videos. It still looks like the same game almost. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just kind of seems like that's the reason why they're pushing all their games back, is just to like give them a little bit more time to make sure they're like refined, and theoretically they'll be an actual success when they hit, considering it seems like these last 2 games weren't.
Yeah.
Just smart. I love it. I prefer that.
Yeah, when I first saw the title of this, I thought they were like, when you say like Ubisoft move all games to next gen, I thought you meant like bringing all their old ass games to next gen.
I mean, I'm
like,
sorry.
That's what I thought it meant.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. That was misleading. I mean,
honestly, that could happen too. You might be 100% right about it. Like the fact that they put all these delays could actually put them into like the range where they're like, we'll just release them on the next gen consoles. So something that could happen.
Yeah, if it means to make the game better, then I'm all for it. But
yeah,
if it's the means to include microtransactions to work well, then I'm not for that.
It is going to.
I'm not for that.
Okay, well, look, bruh, it's going to be there, okay? They're going to be right there waiting for you. So if that's the thing that's going to stop you from not buying the game, then don't buy the game. I play Call of Duty every year. You think I look at those microtransactions? If it ain't DLC content, I'm
But
not
you want to
playing
look
with it.
cool, though.
I don't give a fuck about looking
It's
cool.
like-
I need kill
only-
death ratios.
The only way to look cool in Call of Duty is to get a bunch of kills.
That's it.
That guns
You
and
get
the costumes don't
bloodthirsty.
matter.
You want to look cool in
Yeah.
Call of Duty? You get bloodthirsty. You get final kill cams. You get top spots, and you get wins. And I have
And get
done
made
that,
fun of
alright.
for having a default gun skin.
It don't matter.
You only get made fun of until you start winning.
Mhm.
Like, what are you gonna say to somebody who has a default skin that just like destroyed you?
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of hard to talk shit.
You
so.
can't. You really can't. You really can't. I heard it this weekend, man. I streamed some, but I played some. So I was on the lobby, and it was like they didn't. I was like, yo, it's 2019, man. Don't act like these females don't know how to play no Call of Duty.
I remember the days when skins were free
Okay, well, you
and
sound like an
user
old dude
made.
You
That-
sound
that
like
was
an
the-
old dude on a porch complaining to the neighborhood kids about the
Mhm.
I remember
Back
back
in my
in the day,
back in
Counter
my
Strike
day.
1.5, we
Yeah.
used to just download these skins, and we just it was just as simple as just moving it into a file. Anyways, let's move on. EA is possibly returning to Steam. I am not surprised. Origin sucks.
I don't think anybody should. I don't know if anybody uses Origin if they don't have to.
Yeah.
I
Origin
guess
sucks.
maybe Lady Infamous, you might have used it. Well,
Did I use?
do you have to
Origin?
use Origin to play like when you played Anthem,
No, I
or you
played
just had
on,
to log in?
I played on Xbox.
Okay, yeah, so you didn't have to use Origin, but yeah, Origin is trash.
Oh wow! I touched on the trash. Let me unclick the trash. Ew.
Yeah. Origin sucks. Like everything about it is just really, really poorly made.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
even think they put that much effort into it
storefront
anyway.
Is really bad. The achievement system's really bad. The friends list sucks. And it's been out for years, and then they still haven't really updated. Like,
I don't think I created an account.
I mean, you have one if you created your account for playing on the console. You just
So-
haven't logged into it.
yeah, it's your
But,
EA
you know.
account.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I'm kind of glad. I just honestly like not even worrying about Origin specifically. I think I'm just happy that I'm always happy when it sounds like I'm gonna be able to have my entire library in the same area. I just don't want a bunch of different like applications I have to run.
'Cause
Yeah,
that-
until
that wrecks your
Corsair comes out
computer.
with a game launcher again, right?
Mhm.
If you can figure out a game launcher that'll make me only have to launch yours and it can communicate with all the other ones, I'm still okay with that.
If
I just don't wanna have to
GOG
run more than
somehow is able to get all my Steam
be
games
great.
onto their platform, I will move to GOG. I don't want to be stuck on Steam for all times because GOG, it's DRM free. Once you have the game, it's yours, right? Steam is just a license.
But at the same time, though, if GOG does like become like the hub, I guarantee it's not going to be that if you purchase like games through Steam, well, if you purchase Steam games through GOG, that they're somehow going to be DRM free all of a sudden. I'm sure they're still going to have to like incorporate some kind of functionality to compensate for the fact that like their games aren't DRM free.
Yeah,
But you're saying it still kind of makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because then if you see the game on GOG and on Steam, and you know that GOG's is going to be DRM free, then why would you not just buy that one?
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't mind Steam. Okay, so here's my beef with Steam and how you can share games with Steam. You can actually share your account kind of with your friends. They have like this whole family view thing, right? And you can share it with like 5 different like accounts. So if I can share it with my brother, right? Like I wanted to give my brother a shot with like Indivisible because I love that game. However, how their family share system works, you're sharing your library. So if I end up starting up a different game while he's playing Indivisible
It kicks
under
him
my,
off, right?
it'll kick him off. It'll give him 5
Yeah.
minutes to get kicked off, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
hella stupid. Like GOG, he can just download the game off my account, and then it will just work.
Sure. Although that definitely, that's a very easy way to have like the Netflix model where I get my Netflix membership and then all of a sudden like I watch it, Lady Infamous watches, Sharpie watches it, my mom watches it. Whereas they could have gotten like, 5 memberships.
Yeah, because
So it's like, what does that do for the game sales if like all of a sudden you're the only one that has to buy it and like everybody can just play the game?
Well, yeah, no, that's why like you usually when you have something like that, you have like another collateral that you also share another type of account with another person, right?
Wait, say that again?
Like you have like a collateral of like you if I'm sharing this with you, you're sharing me something else.
That's like game share on Xbox.
Yeah, but you see what I mean, right? Like like if I'm sharing you my Steam account, you're sharing me your Steam account, like on this whole thing. Like if Steam,
Oh, sure. I'm just talking about how it could like significantly impact like the number of sales that happen for a particular game.
Yeah. If Steam changes it to a per game basis and not your entire library, then I'll be happy. The happiness with Steam will go significantly higher because.
Oh, you mean like so that as per game meaning like
not
both
your
of
entire
you can't
library.
be playing Indivisible right now.
No.
You could be playing Indivisible and they could be playing something else.
Yeah, like I don't like like if it's just because that's like sharing discs, right? Like back in the old days when we used to share games by handing over a disc or a cartridge.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I assumed would work, but instead you're handing out your entire shelf to them.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so if you give somebody your disc, they can play it, but you can't play it, but you can still play anything else you want to in your library.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Anyways, yeah, so EA coming to Steam. I know we totally went off track, but
yeah, I mean, like, so I don't know if you guys saw that. Like, it's not that it's been verified or anything like that, but it's just that I think it was mainly based on like a Twitter post where there was, I think it was on EA's Twitter account, and it was just like a picture, well, a little video of a coffee mug with EA
and
with
the
EA logo on it.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it had the EA logo on it, and then all of a sudden a bunch of Steam started coming out of it.
Oh.
That's that's kind of what they're basing it on, and I think there's some of the people who try to
maybe somebody
data mine and all that stuff to figure stuff out.
They
So
probably data mine the Steam.
So they're not really sure. Based on the article, they said they're not really sure that it's like all of EA's games would be available on there, or if it's maybe like their older games are on there or something like that. Because I guess they showcased the concern, for example, that when the new Star Wars game comes out, it's like, is EA gonna want to like fork over 30% of the sales of like that game to Steam? And it's like probably not. So it might just be like, here's our past library, our older games, and maybe like there's some kind of threshold where like, okay, now this game will end up on Steam after a certain amount of time has passed that it's been on Origin or however else they distribute it. But it just seems likely that in some form, EA games are going to come to Steam.
It's okay though.
Which means that Lady Infamous will finally be able to have her copy of Anthem on Steam.
Right, I got it in the vault. I'm good. I can actually pay that for free.
Yeah,
I got an EA Access account.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Overwatch 2 at BlizzCon, which is next week. Oh my god, that's going to be a shit show. I can feel it. Everybody's going to have.
We should do a live stream. When is it?
It's next weekend. So, or like, actually, this coming weekend. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was.
Okay, so.
Or wait, hold on.
Just bounce off what you just said.
No, it's next weekend.
Why do you think it's a shit show?
Because
it will be.
Because of the whole like China Hong Kong thing.
There's gonna be some protests.
There's gonna be people wearing Winnie the Pooh costumes. There's gonna be people, and then like there's like a thread somewhere that I saw. I forgot where I saw it, but like it says they can't stop us all with a whole bunch of Winnie the Pooh costumes at BlizzCon.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the only reason I ask about that is because I think about I don't believe the internet anymore. In the sense that, like, I'm sure there will be people protesting there. There's going to be people showing up in the costumes and stuff like that. But, like, I'm always, like, thrown aback by how much complaining there is compared to how much action actually ends up happening.
Oh, you preaching like
especially when
that.
it comes down to people people voting with their wallet, where it's like you'll hear people just shit on a game about all the worst things in the world about it, and then the game does amazing.
Yeah. Anyways,
Or you didn't pay for the game, or you didn't pay.
I'm kind of curious how that works for EA for BlizzCon.
well, I mean, Blizzard has pretty hardcore fans that really love their games, but like, you know, companies could be a whole different thing. Anyways, like, so Overwatch 2 is what is this? Is this going to be announced, or is it confirmed, or is it?
It's on Twitter it's on Twitter right now.
Okay, because I don't follow
what's on
Overwatch.
Twitter?
I don't really follow Overwatch.
It said that it was going to be announced at BlizzCon. I just saw it.
So
well, I mean,
like
it's a quote unquote leak, right? So there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The quote I was gonna say the article just said that there was like a leak, that's basically listed a bunch of features like that are, number one, it'll be playable on like the show floor, and then like there's gonna be some co-op missions and things of that nature. But it seems like there was just a leak saying that like we can look forward to it next week. But I don't know. Is anybody excited about it?
Nope.
I loved Overwatch in the beginning.
Yeah, before it got hella toxic and hella, I don't know. After a couple of years, that it's the same thing. People want to quit if you're not a certain hero. Like if I took Diva and you want to be Diva, go quit. I'm good. I got Overwatch.
I mean,
well,
isn't that just competitive gaming though?
Yeah,
I play casual.
I think it's class-based competitive gaming.
Well, that's yeah. Because I was gonna say, I guarantee you have to run into that with Rainbow Six Siege. There's no way you don't, right?
Toxicity. Yeah.
Just the concept of like, let's say I want to be Glass, and then like they don't want me to be.
Rainbow Six have
not
less
as much
of that than
not on rank. Not on rank. You can't quit. You can't quit on.
No, I'm not talking about quitting, but I'm talking about more so like, let's say somebody in the chat. I know you can mute them or whatever, but somebody in the chat is just like pissed off because like there's a certain character they're expecting you to pick based on the current structure of the team. They're like, oh yeah, you should have picked Glass, or you should have picked like Twitch or whatever. But then you pick the character. I know you like to play Frost, and they're like, oh yeah, well you know that's the wrong person to pick in this scenario. You never hear like any of that?
No, I hear more like they want to pick their character for their personal preference, not because.
Maybe it's different. Okay.
Yeah. So here's my take on why Overwatch 2. I was like, why are they making Overwatch 2? Right? I mean, it's a competitive game. They could have just updated the first game to whatever it is going to be, right? Like, why are they making a second game?
Oh, I think I know why. Because if they don't make a second game, how do they get more money out of you other than to do like microtransactions? Which obviously they make a bunch of money out of you from that, but like
they want more
as
money.
It stands, there's no other way for them to make more money from like, let's say Zeldrick, who I know was playing it for a long time. Like, where do they get more money from him?
Well, I mean,
like the game is basically
that's also
free.
True. Okay, well, that's also true. Counter-Strike has been $15 for 7 years, and guess what? That game has not had like a second iteration for almost 7 years. And what do you call it? And all they did was just update everything like to the new version. Like how the guns feel, how the gun sounds, how the map looks, how the maps are structured. Like the maps are pretty much all the same, but then like how everything looks, like how it visually looks, how it like, you know, makes some tweaks and changes about that game. Like it just feels like a completely different game. Although like, you know, fundamentals of it still feels the same, and it's been out for 7 years.
And look, the only thing that's gonna make Overwatch 2 like pop is if they have a story mode. And that's what was lacking on the first game. So unless they talking about a story mode on Overwatch 2, I don't want to hear it. To be honest with you.
That's interesting. How do you do a story mode in Overwatch?
Well, I don't know, but they made a lot of little mini stories and mini movies. They could piece something together.
That is true. I guess maybe you could just make it like I don't know. It seems like it just have to be a first-person shooter, like story mode, kind of like, you know, all the other, like a Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that. Which would be, I don't know, that'd be interesting.
I know,
Um,
right?
but I guess the thing for me, like, I don't know, going along with what you said, Sharpie, maybe I think the difference is that when you have like the class-based games, um, maybe there's more of a drive to get another game out because like having a brand new game with all new characters kind of gives you a little bit of freshness in terms of strategy. Like it seems like Counter-Strike more so than like a Overwatch. Counter-Strike is more about like a new map would mean different strategies on that map, but it's still the same gameplay. But if with Overwatch, like it's probably kind of like go to a new map. You probably have a similar strategy because you have similar characters with similar powers that you just do slightly different because of the dynamics of the map. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how I might not have described it well, but I think the class-based system might be why they would do a new one because that seems like that's the only way to make it like
Well,
really feel fresh.
what do you mean by like the class based system would you want? Like if for the classes that they already have, they can just remove a character, or they can
Oh,
change
sure.
some abilities on that character, or they can add new characters, with new abilities.
Oh, sure, but I think it's kind of similar to fighting games in a way where like if you have a Street Fighter 5, you can release characters and release characters and release characters, but I think because you have, for example, you released like they just released E Honda was like one of the last people that got released, right? The people will try E Honda and some people will enjoy him, some people won't or whatever. But releasing that new character doesn't really mean you play Ryu that much differently. So like if you release a new character in Overwatch, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to switch up how you play like Diva or how you play any other character in the game. But I think if you have a brand new game where you can like drop either new characters in or totally change how a character works for, compared to the last game or whatever, it gives you an opportunity to just have like a completely fresh feel where people can be like, oh, let's figure out what the new strategies are, the new dynamics are, versus like, oh, let's figure out how this.
Couldn't they just update that to the current game?
I mean, they could. That might be hard though, like in terms of the competitive scene, in the sense that like if you just update.
In fact, League of Legends did that. Like they haven't had like they don't have a League of Legends 2. They also had like this whole huge revamp of everything. They had a revamp of all the skin models, the map models, the graphics of everything, the abilities, the UI changes. How
they changed everybody's abilities.
No, and some of them I heard that they changed their abilities too. Like
that's
made
what I'm saying.
Huge
so like
change in League of Legends also.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I think maybe League of Legends is a little bit closer than like Counter-Strike to Overwatch because like everybody has those different abilities or whatever. But just the fact of like, yeah, I'm sure they could push through like complete graphical updates, complete map updates, stuff like that. But the how you play the game theoretically is kind of the same. But I think the draw to class-based games is usually like seeing how the characters, who's the best character versus this other character, how the characters all like interact with each other and how well they work, which teams work, which ones don't work, or strong in one way or like weak in another. And like being able to discover all that, like I don't know if you can duplicate that by just updating the current game without basically making a new game. So like, if they change completely how Symmetra works, then like all of a sudden, for example, if you're doing esports, what does that mean for like the next tournament when all of a sudden people are still trying to figure out if it's even balanced?
They have to adapt. That's what they had to do with League. In fact, that's what they had to do with StarCraft.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like if they haven't even gotten a chance to like figure out if the game is even balanced per se, for example.
I know that's the same thing. Like with League of Legends too. Like they like players had to deal with that major change when they had a major change. Same with StarCraft. StarCraft had 3 iterations, right? Like there was Wings of Liberty, there was Heart of the Swarm, and there was Legacy of the Void. Each I would say each campaign pack had like a unique play style for each race, like per campaign package. So
Okay, well, I
and
guess I
then
do
so
have the
like
question though.
all these players had to like learn a new mechanic every time when that new like
Well,
a
I mean,
major
I
change
get the
happened.
question though is like, if you do that, then like, what's the difference? If you're like literally going in and saying, let's like reskin everything, let's do new maps, let's like
So
change how all the characters
I'm
work.
going to go back to League
What's
of
the
Legends
difference?
again, right? Like when the well, I don't know the history of like changes of League of Legends, but I'm pretty sure there was a point where they had like this huge, update where they redid all the characters in a major way, and I'm guessing that they just released it to the public, and then like all the professionals and all the casuals and all that had to relearn the game again. I mean, the fundamentals are still the same, right?
Sure.
Just like Overwatch, the fundamentals is still going to be the same, right? There's WASD and mouse, like it's a shooter, right? So the fundamentals is still going to be the same. It's just abilities might change. And if it didn't change, then some of the damage output or defense input might still be different, right?
Well, I guess what I was asking though is like, considering that, is there any difference between just updating and making a new game? If you're literally changing everything. Other than the fact that, like I said,
Just buying,
they don't get any money out of an update.
Yeah. So
theoretically,
why would they need? Why do they need to do that? Like, do you think it's just for the money then?
I mean, I'm sure that's a huge part of it. It's like, I mean, it's probably a comparison of how much money they have coming in from the people playing the game. Well, from their their audience in the game or their community in the game versus how much money it would cost to make a new game. I'm sure that's definitely a factor.
I think they're making a huge mistake if it's like a completely new game, because they're just gonna cut off a lot of people from playing the game. If they kept the
that's
current
literally
one,
every shooter though, isn't it?
not Counter-Strike
Technically.
again, and probably
Well, no,
not
that's not
Rainbow
what I'm
Six
saying.
Siege
But what I'm saying
either.
is like,
Yeah.
biggest shooter out there, Call of Duty, is literally exactly what they do every time. Technically, they could just update the engine somehow and like tweak things, but they release a new one every time, and I don't think it's not killing them because they're doing that, because people want to play the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's just a different way of doing it. It sounds like, again, it's like fighting games. Like technically, they could just keep Street Fighter going, just call it Street Fighter, keep it going, and keep updating it, that engine, or technically they could just keep like making a new one every 4 or 5 years. Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's a
Street
business
Fighter,
reason.
I'm pretty sure like it's much more complicated because it's much more pixel perfect, I should say, and like it's more like the foundation of how the game works might be a little more like the engine of the foundation might be a little more different. I could be wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's like, you're probably right in that sense, but like at the same time, I'm sure Lady Infamous could speak to this, but like with shooters, they're gonna have their own set of challenges too, where it's like the fighting game wouldn't have to worry about that. Like for example, with a map, figuring out if there's like a specific position that's completely unfair.
Yes, it is.
In the map, or like corners, or like
boxes, barrels.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff is stuff like fighting game wouldn't have to worry about.
Yeah. So
yeah, Counter-Strike has all of that. Like there are some places where I'm like saying, "Oh shit, this was not here before. That used to be there before." When I opened it up the other day, like after I finished Indivisible, like I opened it up and I'm like saying, "Oh my god, this feels a little different."
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll just have to wait to see this weekend and see what they're talking about. They're probably going to show a little teaser trailer. That's it.
I mean, like I said, it sounds like it's supposed to be playable, so playable on the show floor. So I'm sure you'll see like some actual footage of like the PvE as well.
I'm interested.
But I mean, the other thing to think about too, and is just very simply, what if they start with a whole new cast of characters?
That's what they probably end up doing anyway.
Yeah, like they'd like, Borderlands or whatever. Technically, you could say the same thing about Borderlands and like say, why don't they just like add more story and keep the same characters and tweak things and give them new powers? But the way they end up doing is like every time they add like a bunch of new people. So it's kind of like almost starting from scratch. But I guess, yeah, we'll see. You said it's Saturday? It's this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's some people that I saw, like Hoffa, like posted that he's already there.
Oh, he's actually going. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's attending the event itself. He's just attending all the outside parties and all that.
Oh, got you. Okay, well, I'll be interested to see because, like I said, I loved Overwatch at the beginning, but I just kind of fell off pretty quickly. I think once it started getting too competitive.
Yeah,
But
last
I'm
time
curious to see how different
Overwatch
it is.
was at that event. That's the last time I seen you play Overwatch. And
Was that where?
that Corsair event.
Oh, the Corsair event? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Diablo 4, I mean, I gotta see what that's going to be like. I mean, I have
You act like you won't buy it, Sharpie.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna buy it, but the thing, there's like this huge thing I miss about Blizzard games is like these days, like a lot of Blizzard cinematics, it's very like cartoony. I mean that's fine and it works with like Overwatch, and then I guess it kind of works with Heroes and like WoW, but then I remember like a long time ago, like the last time I ever saw like a crazy like high budget cinematic was like Diablo 3. Like every time when a cutscene happens, like it looks really cool and it looks fully rendered like cutscene.
But that's what's gonna sell you on the game, though. You think?
No, but I'm just saying like I feel like Blizzard needs to go back to like that level of passion.
Well, let's hope they do when they show some. They're gonna show that this weekend as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the assumption because
Yeah, you assume it, but maybe not. You never know.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
imagine like Brock going up there and then he's like saying, "So I hear you guys all don't have phones," and he tosses the phone behind them or something and say like, "Here's Diablo 4." Then I'll be like saying, "Oh shit, oh shit, I'll give him praise for that." Like if he actually does something like that, but. For all I know, there's going to be
that's a reference to the mobile game.
Yeah,
Is that what you were talking about? Oh,
right.
All right, gotcha.
And then like, but for all I know, there's going to be a lot of Chinese people in the front rows, and the camera's going to be all up on them.
Well, I'm interested in seeing what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be as much of a train wreck as we think it is, but I'm
Be a
sure,
little
like I
bit of
said, I'm sure
drama.
the protesters will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, anyways, I think that's it for this week. Let's end this on a note on what everybody's going to be doing for the rest of the week.
Okay, I will start off because I got my schedule now. I'm gonna take a couple of days off, do some uploads and recording Hitman and getting Modern Warfare on deck, and then probably later on in the week I will do some. I forgot after parties on Tuesday.
Wait, what?
After parties on
After party.
Tuesday.
After party.
Your girl got to play some after party on Tuesday. Do World War Z, Call of Duty. You know me. I'll be at lady_infamous415 on Twitch. And thank you guys for stopping by.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to play Jackbox Party Pack 6 again, the push the button game. I wanted to play it this past Friday, but I forgot I had another commitment. So this week I'm going to definitely explore that a little bit more. I think I'm still kind of weighing things, but I'm kind of considering like switching up how I do streams. And I think more so the games that I want to play on stream will probably be stuff that's like multiplayer. Hopefully I can involve the audience, stuff like that. And I'll just play other stuff on the side. So this week it'll be Jackbox Party Pack 6. And I was actually thinking about trying to do, finally do some more Town of Salem, even though I'm like the worst person in the world at it, to see if I actually can figure out how the hell to play the game. But I think it's just going to be those two, because I'll probably only get like 3 or so days I can stream at the most. So if anybody wants to check me out, I'll be on twitch.tv/UNSHEATHEDP, Unsheathed P.
I will continue playing Valkyria Chronicles 4. I started learning some things on like Skillshare and all that, so I'm going to be learning on that, and hopefully I can get my account back from Square, because I'm so like,
You're so upset.
yeah, I'm so upset that I don't have that. I don't have my account. Anyways, I'm gonna just keep punching at. I need my account. I need my account. I need to make content for my Instagram account. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna continue playing Valkyria Chronicles while I'm on stream. Hopefully I get my account back. If not, then I'm gonna just have to deal with that. Hopefully I might figure out if there's any insiders that or anybody that knows somebody at Square in the streamer community that I personally know. Hopefully they might know somebody at Square that can help me out with that. But other than that, Valkyria Chronicles. If anything, I might play. I don't know, Tales of. What's that game called? Like Tales of Neon Sea.
Is that like a Tales game?
No. It's not that Namco Tales game. It's like this.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like this pixel game, pixel side-scrolling puzzle game.
Oh,
yeah.
You talked about that before.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
But anyways, that's it for this week. We will be back next week.